Hey everybody, it's Modern Geek, also known as Vant Mario, and as always, we are back with some AOS Games Workshop model painting. I'm excited. We're going to be working on our Sons of Behemoth army. Continuing that, we also have our Blood Bowl Snotling team, which I have plenty of them to still paint. So we have plenty of offerings. We're going to get these two giants done, but we are going to have, excuse me, we are going to have a little fun and do a slight unboxing. We also have some terrain that we may dig ourselves into. We'll see how it goes. I know you guys have been super patient and always with us, and I always seem to derail my plan of my show because I always get into a model. Like last night was a great example. We did a Kingpin painting, and that sort of took the whole show. And I'll show you guys if you want to join us for Marvel Crisis Protocol painting. We actually painted up. Oh, I'm gonna have to re-go in there. We actually painted up Kingpin. He came out really good. But if you want to see other Marvel characters and Marvel models being painted, that we do on Monday nights. But yeah, I was really happy. But yeah, it just took by storm. I was like, we're gonna finish this. We did the whole session on one model. I have a lot of other cool models to do. But I did sort of stick the landing and just do the one, which I thought was pretty funny. And then Thursdays we're of course going to do our 40K, and this Wednesday we're going to do our first installment of me actually doing my indie comics. So tomorrow I will actually be doing my indie comic work on live stream, so you guys can come and see and check it out. Whoa, what's going on? Cool. So, like I said, as people are shuffling in, and I'm sorry that we started like 20 somewhat minutes late. I promise and I swear to you guys that I do not try to start these late. It's just that some of the days I do come home a little on the later side. If I don't preset some stuff up beforehand, it is a little bit of a mad dash to get over to the show. But I'm getting better. I'm getting more confident, and we will definitely have more stuff. So. And I think I might have figured out our camera issue, so please let us know what you think of the new camera angle. It is a little bit more of a top-down camera. Oh, that's interesting. So it is actually trying to focus. It just doesn't focus. That's so weird. I want to see something. Man, no. But it definitely does try to focus. But it loses that focus. So, yeah, a lot of nuances with the new iPhone and its lenses. I'm learning that the lenses have like they have like an auto diffuse. So you guys let us know what you think. I honestly am kind of liking this idea of doing just a wide angle. And I don't know what you guys think of the wide angle, but at least you could see all the models. You can see the painting table. So I'm just going to clean things up and probably redo my setup. But I think this wide angle is the way to go, because then it will 100% do close-up focuses. The only drawback to the wide angle is when I'm working on certain models, you will get a forced... you get like a zoom in, which is really odd and weird, but I don't know. We're gonna play with that wide angle tonight, see what you guys think. So I apologize if you are tuning in and we're doing a lot of experimentation with lenses, but I'm trying to figure it all out, see what works. But while everybody's shuffling in and seeing what is up, we're gonna do, before we jump into the painting, I'm going to do, so we're gonna be working on our Sons of Behemoth Giants. I actually wanted to do, and then, whoa, please tell me that the back of this didn't break. Okay, I really did glue that on from last time. Let me, everything on my table is like chaos. And then we are gonna work on our Snotling tank from Blood Bowl, so we will get some of the Snotling stuff painted, which I think is gonna be super awesome, super nice. wonder if having a backdrop would also work in my favor. So to start off, and without further ado, I thought to start up the show, we would do a little unboxing, which I haven't unboxed some of these in a while. But Icons of the Realm, Spelljammers. I thought since this is the fantasy show where we're doing fantasy related things, it would be nice to slip these in since we don't have necessarily a tabletop day anymore. Because my goal is to really hunker down for the months of November and December, get a lot of stuff painted so we can get you guys campaigns starting next in the new year. So the campaigns will actually start then, which is pretty awesome and pretty cool. So I'm trying to build up both a couple of pre-painted models. We may even do some videos where I repaint some of these, which I thought would be kind of cool. And we will totally figure those out and see what's up. All right, well, without further ado, let's jump right into it. Oh, man. Let's start unboxing these guys. So, for folks that don't know... Oh, interesting. That one actually has a hint in it. So, Icons of the Realm are made by Wizkids. They're pre-painted models. They are D&D models, so they're going to have notable monsters from the realm that they're based off of. This is Spelljammer. Spelljammer is essentially D&D in space. Not real space. It's like an astral plane that connects all the planes, and it operates and works like space. And you have ships, and you have to have crew to go on the ships, and you like navigate these seas or astral waves. There is a lot of very odd characters in this realm. Because it's essentially like, think of it as like a multiverse dumping ground. Similar to how if you watch Loki, there is like the junction or things that I must say and words I must use. There's a gap stop in like reality, and this is kind of where Spelljammer is as well. All right, these guys always come with 4 models, although they're very odd. Sometimes you'll get like 6 models in a box, which I've gotten that happening. Sometimes you'll get a bigger model and smaller models, or sometimes you'll get all medium-sized models. Because the characters are very, very versatile, you do tend to get odd samplings of things. So I can attest firsthand. Yes. Oh, that means there's multiples of these. Guess that was empty. Alright, so this is going to be interesting just because of what was in here. Oh, that's dope. What is this? All right, let's without further ado, let's check out what we got. Oh, this is cool. What I'm happy about is in most cases, I've actually been able to snag a lot of the newer races in this box, or boxes that I've opened. That's really weird. All right, so we're going to save that one for last. So first up in our thing, we have Commandor Crux, which are essentially a race of hippopotamus people. So there are hippopotamus people in Starjammer. Starjammer has a lot of like anamorphic animal characters. There's a lot of different ones like that. I love this thought, and I love this model. I love that there are just hippos in space. That's awesome. Now, one of the new races that you can play as, I actually got, which is a theory queen. which Theory Queens are actually an old race. They're bug people. They're actually from Dark Sun. If you're old enough and you've played D&D long enough and you know what I'm talking about, Dark Sun is a realm that no longer is open or used. I think there was in the lore, maybe even in the story, that it got destroyed. But these characters find themselves in that astral plane, and they're bug people. They're bug warriors. They're very, very cool. They're multi-handed. They're just super cool. And I don't know if you guys can see, but he does have actually one of his hands. I hope it didn't break off. It looks like it was actually cut off. Like he has one of his hands missing, which is pretty cool. And then this model is very small. We have a Chowinga. And he looks like he's like a little smoke person or a little smoke guy. I don't know. Now, this is what's a little frustrating about opening these packs, because they are small. They are tiny, tiny, tiny models sometimes. And it really sucks when you get like 2 or 3 of these, because it's like, is this really worth $20? And sometimes people may feel one way or the other. Now, of course, they're all pre-painted models. So, I mean, the benefit here is that obviously for a DM or a player, it's very easy to just get your game going on the table because you're not doing any hobbying. You don't have to paint it. You don't have to do anything else. So that is part of that cost. So we have a Tharid. So these are kind of like Mind Flayers. They're sort of the Spelljammer version of a Mind Flayer. And they're a race of people in that world. And this is the larger or rarer model that you got in here out of our 4. Very cool creature, very cool monster. So again, I just love these because, I mean, yes, you can use it for D&D, but you can use them for any role-playing game or even campaign setting. If you want to throw this down as a model, as a proxy for something, I mean, you could totally do that. And you see the size difference, just how big he is in comparison to the other characters. All right, without further ado, let's do our second one. Like I said, this is a little mini warm-up just as people are shuffling in. And then we're going to get to the actual painting. Ooh, okay, that's a biggie. That's a, what the hell is that? Oh, that's insane. All right, let's see what we got. All right, there's a lot of stuff, and I think, no, okay. Oh, wait. Yes, I think this is a wonderful example of, did we score, or did you come out of that box? You came out of that box. Okay. All right, I think, yeah, so I do have a double in this box. What the hell is that? Okay, that's crazy. So, there is one model in particular I really wanted out of this set. I don't know if I'm ever going to get it. Yeah, see, I hate that happens, but that's part of Wizkids. I have to remember I'm using the wide angle lens, so I can't pre-show you that, guys. I wanna keep that a secret. All right. I don't think I have had that. I don't think I've gotten. Oh, that's freaky and weird. Okay. And this one is so small. So small. Oh, but that's so cool. Oh, that's dope, because it's another one of the races you can get. All right. Let's see. I have my other Spelljammer pieces here. I was on a kick with insects. All of the stuff I got last time was very. Ooh, was very. These are my other pulls. So if you're seeing stuff, I'm just. Oh my god! I still remember. Yeah. All right. So I think only one of them is actually a double. Okay, that's cool. So I've actually been my my double rarity in this set has been a lot better. Like I've actually not gotten as many doubles in this set, and that's actually pretty good because I've actually gotten quite a lot of the bigger characters, which are definitely ones I don't want doubles of. So that's pretty cool. There's actually only one that was a double from today. All right, so we're gonna start off with Rhaegar, which I think is a woman character that's a named character in Spelljammers. But this is sort of like, because they use bubble charms and like spacesuits, kind of, for their ships. I think she's an elf, if I'm not mistaken, but very cool figure. It's interesting how they did the clear. The only thing I don't like about this is they made it so it's very hard to see her face through that. It would have been nicer if it was a little clearer, the sculpt, so you could see through that plastic, but not too bad. I will do one of the doubles. So this guy, which is Astral Blight, I did get him last time, so that is a double. That is a double model from this set. So that is the official first double. And then we got, I don't think I got this last time, an Auto Gnome, which again, very tiny, but the Auto Gnome, and just to put it in perspective, this is how small the Auto Gnome is next to a regular model. So they're very, very tiny. But the Auto Gnome, they're another race you could be. They're an additional race in the Spelljammer book, and they're pretty funny. So they're basically robotic gnomes, which I am very much into potentially next time I play as a player being an Auto Gnome, because I think it would be really cool. And then we did get a biggin, and this model is pretty dope. And it's B-Rog. And I should say there are 47 models in the set. And B-Rog is just massive. He's got 4 arms, so he's another multi-armed being, which I think is insane. He's got a giant rock, he's got a spear. I have no clue, I gotta look at the book and see what he's about, but the sculpt and the paint on this is just nice. It's just very, very big. So another big in model. Again, this is where when you have a run like I just did, where you get decent sized. I mean, obviously this is a colossal model, so for $20, you are winning out in this box. This was a really good box, even with the double. But even if you're getting these medium sized ones, as long as you're getting the nice detailed ones, it is pretty worth it. This is actually a nice collection. So out of 2 packs, this is a nice selection where you get a lot of scaled stuff. Like I said, if you get the just a lot of the smaller ones, maybe a medium sized larger figure, it doesn't always feel like you got that $20 value. But this, for $40, that's not bad. Not bad at all. Because I mean, again, it's 8 models for $40, so it's coming out to less than $4. I mean, a little bit more than $4 a model, which is not bad for a fully painted model. Not too shabby. Now it is Wizkids, and it is the same HeroClix rules, so this is kind of made out of a plastic. They're on clear bases. Painting is decent most of the time. What you get mostly from them is you'll get a base coat and maybe some dry brushing. You don't get some embellished stuff. It depends on the model. Some of the larger ones, they'll go a little bit more involved, and then they'll be a little bit more downplayed for the other ones. But it really does depend on the model. But sometimes, because dry brushing is their their form of choice, you will in some cases get what I feel is a little bit better quality paint, but it's just because the model that they did it on, it just works better with the dry brushing. So, all right. So that is our Spelljammer part. If you guys want to see me unbox more Spelljammer stuff, please consider throwing a comment in the chat so I know. Without further ado, we're going to go back to our Sons of Behemoth. We're going to continue working on one of the giants. This is the official giant one of the official models for GW, because if you guys remember, the way that we're doing, or the way I'm doing the Sons of Behemoth army, is I actually got lots of different giant models from different gaming companies and some Etsy independent shops, and I'm kind of making a custom giant army out of them. So the idea in my world is that the giants, the big giants, woke up, and all the giants from around the different realms came to form an army and start to take over the notable realms. And this is part of the standard giant kit. What's cool about this kit is that so you're making 2 giants out of it, but it is probably one of the few kits that is extremely customizable. So, I say it all the time. This one, they really do give you a lot of options, so you can make really almost any giant you want from a lot of different factions, since many factions can take giants as part of their force because they are allies to them. So they sort of thought about that with this kit because, GW, I give them a lot of, not flack, but I am sometimes quick to say that they are, they can be a little bit money centric first company, and I can really kind of hone in on that. I will say with this kit, they were a little bit more lenient. Now, I do think for 2 giants, and since these are the normal size giants, they're not the behemoth giants, to charge $125 for this kit, that part I'm not in a total agreement on. And my rationale and my why to that is the reason why I am not totally in that camp with that is that they have this kit which is $125, but then they release the Sons of Behemoth, like behemoths, the generals of the army, and those giant models are $125. So do I feel that this one that only gives you the ability to make 2 giants, is it worth it when the giants are maybe a third of the size of the big one? There is where I have trouble coming on the journey with everybody, because like I said, it probably would have been okay. Like, I get it, you're paying for the customizing, but it's annoying because what if I'm somebody who clearly, is playing a very a very certain faction or whatever, and I don't really need all of those options. I just don't need them. Like, the options don't mean anything to me. They're not helpful because I'm literally going to make 1 giant out of the box. So, you're paying you're paying for all of these other bits, but you're not going to use any of them, So what I find frustrating about that I'm going to go back to the wide, because then I can hold it up better for you guys. I'm going to say that I think you guys probably like when I use the wide angle, but we're gonna use the wide angle for the show and see what you think. So what I'm trying to do now is I'm using Skeleton Horde just to do the wrappings. Because there's like ties and wrappings, and then there's actually like a band under there. Because a lot of the giant models, they have this motif on them. A lot of the GW ones. Where they use like they use wrapping on top of like leather and other like bound materials. And whenever we have wrapping, I love doing them. I like doing them with Skeleton Horde. And the rationale behind why I love doing them with Skeleton Horde is because what it does for me, or what it does for the aesthetic, is I like how it makes it look like the wrappings are dirty. So I like the idea that the wrapping is like dirty and it's like not pristine. Because again, these guys are on a battlefield, they're running around. So I don't think that they should look like perfect. And they certainly don't want to look like, I don't want them to look like clean. You know, they're bashing stuff, they're hitting things on the battlefield. They're destroying innocent farmers, like this, you know, lovely gentleman here running for his life. Now I don't know what I want to do for their clothing, because they're supposed to be like not like a little bit more of an undead giant. So I haven't like figured out what I want to do for the pants. A lot of GW like paint samples when it comes to giants, they tend to use like for that more of like a very colorful like selection, because the idea is that they sort of paint it with the intent or with the process of, well, the giants like stole or found fabric, you know, through their travels to make their armor and their clothes. So it's very like heavily quilted and all that stuff. So sorry guys, I don't know why my nose is already like stuffed. I feel like my nose always, and I feel like I've heard this from many different like streamers and YouTubers, that the minute you go live, like your nose just like starts to become your enemy. It's like the weirdest, craziest thing. All right. So I'm just going through and I'm doing this. Now, it is true, and one of the things that's annoying is, not that GW didn't model this nicely, but I feel like there are some misses with some of the modeling, because it's not fully, completely detailed, or it's like, what's the word? I feel like they rushed some of it. Yeah, so what I'm trying to discern from this is like, what is a wrapping, basically what is a wrapping and what isn't, so that I'm not painting. I don't want to paint something that is the leather bit. I don't want to paint that, because I'm going to make the leather pieces a different color. I may have to excuse myself to blow my nose, and I hope I don't have to, but I may have to. What in the heck is going on here? All right, so I think this... and I think this are both wrappings. So I'm like trying to discern. It's very, very hard, especially in areas where they don't have the ties, because then it's just like fabric on top of fabric. but he shouldn't be too long. Actually, both these giants, I feel like confidently in this sitting, we could probably get them both done for what's left. I definitely am trying to do the easier of the two up front, because the GW ones kind of have an idea of like how they're constructed and painted. The other one, which I got from Etsy, that one's going to be a little harder because I'm not going to have a painting reference. And I was going to say, when we get to painting that, I will talk a little bit more about like my ideas or what I'm going to be doing for it. And I'm sorry, guys, if the angle is not working out that I can show you. I think I might be showing you the base right now. Yeah. Because it's just, to get to some of these areas, I have to turn the model in ways that I just can't show you guys. But just to give you an idea of what I was painting, I was painting underneath that arm right there, which is a little bit of a tight spot. All right, so I think another thing that I do a lot is I try to, I always try to paint all of a color. So what do I mean by that? Well, if I'm using Snakebite right now, I try to go to any area that has this color, and I try to paint it. And I do that on purpose so that when I'm working with that color, as I'm done with that color, all of it will dry. The other aspect of why I do this is because if I'm working with a color, and I'm already noticing that with that blue color, I didn't go completely. I went a little bit on the actual wrapping, so I'm gonna have to probably whiten that. But yeah, the other piece to it is that what it allows me to do is it allows me to yeah, let's do. I think I am going to go slightly colorful. Oh, he's got other wrappings on the ground. Let me just try something. I wasn't going to use like yellows, blues, and all kinds of other stuff, but I might do that. So I might follow suit and do some of these interesting like patch colors and stuff. Because like I said, when you see a lot of paint samples for giants in like a lot of the painting GW stuff, even in the Behemoth book, it is like they do use a lot of. Here, let's just see something. I want him to be a little bit more somber, so I don't know if I'm gonna. I just want to see what it looks like. I'm using the Night Haunt, but this is a shade, so I don't think it's gonna work. I've been doing that a lot lately, where I use shades to actually be base colors. I don't know if that always is a great plan. It doesn't always work, but I don't know. I kind of want to keep them a cooler color tone. So let's see. Let's just see. I'm curious what it looks like. It may not work. It may not work well. But so far it looks pretty good. I don't know. There's something about it that just like looks cool. I feel like I'm gonna do some like I'm gonna do some like effects. I'm probably gonna like dirty this up, like maybe put some mud on it, maybe some blood on it, just so he's got like a little bit more character. Okay, so that's a different patch. See, the problem with when you start to do what I'm about to do is that now you have to like, if you do this patch idea, now I have to do like a lot of patching, which I'm not against doing that. It's just that it becomes a larger project. And I have to like, then my brain has to sort of think, like what colors, because obviously once you start to make something more complicated with more colors, you want to make sure what you're looking at isn't too overpowering, isn't a little like too much. Yeah, I guess I'm gonna do orange. Let's try it. Let's see what happens. But like I said, this is like a typical trope of it's a typical trope when you paint giant models in like in AOS GW. They always, and then what I'll do is I'll kind of repeat these colors in different areas. Oh no, there's another patch. Damn it. All right. I don't know if I like this or not. I didn't realize there was another. I was under the impression that it went all the way up and that there wouldn't be another patch, because now I have to pick another color to go there, and that's going to be annoying, because again, I don't want him to be like bright colorful. I did want him to be a little bit more muted, because again, he's like the more somber. Again, I was trying to make him more like the Death Giant. It was like more like a golem, or. But now that I realized, that sucks. I didn't realize I thought that went all the way up. It's actually, there's a stitching there. Damn it. Okay. I mean, it doesn't look terrible because it actually hides a lot of the color, which is not bad. Yeah, let's use the Plague Bearer green. We'll use that for the last section. It's not bad, actually. But yeah, they do use that. They use like a lot. If you look at the painting sample for giants, they always use like very, very like over the top crazy colors. Like they make them look like they have like lots of layers of coloring on the clothing. And I think a lot of it is because for the folks at GW, I think they're paying homage, because the original fantasy giant was it was just a human looking giant, and it kind of had that feel to it. So there is like an aspect to this that is a little bit like old fantasy, which I'm okay with exploring that a little bit. And having like that patchwork kind of thing. But I didn't want, like I said before, I didn't want to do something where it took away from him as a giant, because I feel like sometimes if you go too colorful, especially because I gave him very, very pale muted skin, I don't want the color to take away from that. Alright, let's see what happens, guys. And I always tell everybody, if you like what you see, don't hesitate to follow and sign up for notifications, so you know when we're live. Because that really is what we need as a channel. Like really having you guys come and join the party live is so important. It's so important. And we had like some great conversation. I love last night we were having such a cool convo about like, you know, just the modern comic book scene. We were talking a lot about the different takes on characters, just like what was going on. And I want to do the same thing for AOS. Like for AOS and 40K, you know, the coolest and biggest thing is I want to hear what you guys are working on. I want to hear what's going on, what's up. You know, what are you guys excited about? Definitely, you know, I know GW is going to be doing a lot of previews and other stuff. They did a lot of order on demand stuff lately. They just updated some of that stuff. So I am super looking forward to it. And, you know, part of this big push to get a lot of stuff done is so that we can get better content out to you guys. And believe me, we got a lot of cool Oh, that's the wrong color. I guess it's not going to be the wrong color. We're going to use it. I put yellow instead of purple. I mean, they were going to all be next to each other at some point, but yellow next. That was really great how I said that. Yeah, the yellow is really weird. The contrast yellow is a weird yellow because it, oh man. All right, so this is a tough paint, man. So I'll tell you guys why this is tough. It's tough because I don't know if you're seeing this, but when I'm, oh no, okay, good. It is all the same. I was gonna say for a minute, I thought what I was seeing was that they layered fabric one on top of the other, but they didn't. It's just that there are folds in it, there are bends. I thought that was a break, and that there was going to be two pieces of fabric that I had to try to figure out how to paint. All right, let's go. Now, I would love it if you guys would let me know, what are you working on that painting table? What are the projects that you got going on? What is the projects, or what are even some models that you are stoked, excited about? Is there something, you know, coming out recently that you're like, whoa, I got to get my hands on that. I'm really looking forward to it. Is there a faction or army you're maybe preparing? You know I do that a lot. I'll prepare and kind of think about what I want my color scheme to be, what my approach to it's going to be. I love to know that stuff. I also, oh Jesus, I also say it a lot of this channel, but if you guys want to direct message us, we love, I love to hear from you guys. That's a, really, there's a, this is super hard. Okay. That is annoying. So basically why I'm complaining is that if you guys look, there is a strap, there's a tie that runs through there. So I didn't see it. So I, of course, did a little bit of coverage on it. Yeah, this bottle is very cool. I actually do like the giant models, and I love that they gave you, again, the hooved feet. So he is, you know, very much like a demonic giant. I love it. Because like I said, the whole idea of my army is that giants from different realms have all gathered and formed their own army to take on. And I just think of that as like the coolest thing ever. Because if you really like think about it, imagine if you're an army, a faction, and on the battlefield you just like look and there are just tons of giants coming to you. They're coming to you to battle, and you now have like 6 or 7 giants on the field. You know, all with different, you know, powers. They're coming from different lands. All kinds of cool stuff. Sorry guys, I'm trying to see where the break in the stitching was. So that's why like I had to hold it at a really weird angle. Because this is a very weird. It's got a weird paint angle. And I didn't realize when I signed up for this to be yellow that I was like now painting a large area of it. So I'm just trying to figure that out. I keep forgetting I'm on the wide angle lens, so you guys can actually see all of this, which is leading me to believe that the wide angle lens might be my ticket to the is going to be the lens I'm going to use, which just means that we're going to have to do a little bit of reorganizing for this area. So it's a little bit cleaner, and I'm going to set up my painting area so that you guys have a better, you know, I can make it look nicer and look more, you know, more like sleek, like I want it to look. And I'm like digging that. I'm digging this music. It's very like instrumental. I find that this kind of music, I don't know if you guys feel this way too, but when I'm doing work, I have trouble listening to music with lyrics in it. I don't know if you guys feel the same way, but I certainly have trouble listening to music with lyrics in it. Like, I find that it makes it harder for me to concentrate. I don't necessarily get as much done. I love that I decided to do the pants in the hardest way possible, so now it's going to add on like a ton of painting time to this giant. But that, I have a tendency to do things like that because not because I'm trying to, but because I just like, I'll like certain aesthetics. This feels like, this very much feels like Final Fantasy music. That's what I get from this. I don't know if you guys get that too, but now what's tricky what's a little bit tricky on this is there's a lot of areas. So all I'm doing now is I'm just trying to like pair up good colors. But yeah, this is gonna like literally. It's funny. We probably are going to like work. I'm gonna do I think the same thing I did last time, which is I'm gonna probably like do a little bit on this model, and then because I don't want to not do the other model. the middle section I'm going to make blue, and I'm going to tell you why I'm going to do that, because the blue really complements that purple really well. But it is a lot of just, it starts to become a study in drapery, which I think is kind of funny, where, you really are like playing with how does this stuff fall, like how, this is a tough angle to get a brush in. That looks really good. And then we'll go on to this leg, but yeah, it's a lot of colors, because you have to now think about all these colors, so it becomes a little bit more of a balancing act, which there's nothing wrong with that. Oh wait, that was yellow, so I need yellow. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just that you have to like keep balancing your colors out. But I picked color, you want to just pick colors that go together well. So depending on how your depending on how you're doing it, your color choice just looks good. Alright, so far, so good. There might be some, like, just repairing that I'm going to have to do, because right now there's a little bit of pooling on the yellow that I'm not as happy with on that leg. But, we'll get there. Yeah, and then we have a whole nother side, and that's the color that I got to figure out next of what I want to have there, because I did the green, I did that, so this is going to probably be the orange on this side. Just so we do get that orange in different places, because you don't want to do it where you don't show it at all, because then it's going to be like uneven. But he is a beast. He is like a beast of a giant. I again thought he would be a little bit more the simplest of the ones I had to paint, but he's turning out to be a little bit more of a bargain than I thought he was going to be. He's giving me some run for my money. And definitely tonight I unfortunately am going to say that I can't go as late as I normally do, which I think is going to impact my my viewership, because I know for a few of you out there, when I am later, you actually that's what allows you to be able to come and see us and spend time with us. But work is getting the better of me this week, because I definitely... Oh, that was bad. Got very watery. Why is it doing that? I don't know what is going on with this purple. It gets... I've had this happen to me a couple times when I've used this purple. It gets super watery on me. It just doesn't... That's a bad pool. I don't know if it's the brush or if it's... Sometimes you have to really like make sure that all that dry paint is out of the brush. Yeah, because like right now what it's doing is it applied like a ton of water. So it made the purple really watery. So you guys can see it there. And so it's not really like sticking the way that I want it to. So typically what you do is if you have water like that, you just kind of like use your brush to get it out. And then and you can use a dry brush. Actually, a dry brush is your like best tool for this. Because then, yeah, the dry brush will just go in and like it'll just grab all the water, and then you can go back in with your other brush and you can fix the issue or the mistake. And I don't know why it decided to go haywire and not like. Because I didn't paint the back of that purple. Alright, so now that is looking much better. I'm just going in and looking at what's painted here because I feel like there's a miss of paint in there. Alright, so that looks much better. Now the back of that's painted the right way, which is great. Alright, so now we're going to move on to that orange on the other side. And then obviously we have to do like a round of stitching where we focus on all those stitches that I didn't paint. I'm leaving them kind of white for right now. So this I'm going to go a little on the slow side, and the reason behind the why is because, one, it's orange, and in general, I've done it a few times, but I've been pretty good about hiding it. I got to be careful with the white on the skin. Because it will I'll start to have little splotches and little like ruin marks, and I'm gonna have to, what that's gonna translate for me is I'm gonna have to go back and also now with this area, because this area has all these straps in it, I have to really be careful how I paint that. And then last and finally, I have to watch how the seaming is because there's seams. So I have to follow those seams correctly down as well. See? So there's just a lot going on. There's a lot going on in the model. There's a lot going on in the paint. So I have to be extremely careful. And what I'm doing now, this is actually a good lesson of posting up your model. Sometimes what you want to do is you want to hold your model in a certain way so that you create a brace or control for yourself with your brush. So that's why a lot of times when you guys are watching us paint, you'll see me move the model a lot. I'll reposition the model a lot. And part of why I do that is because by having the model in a new position, I can naturally have a stroke that complements the way that I'm trying to go. Versus putting it in a direction where I'm potentially going against the area or the way I want to go. The same principle I use when I draw as well. So if you ever see, an artist, a video of an artist drawing, and you see them twisting and turning their piece of paper around, they're making it at different angles, they're moving it around, they're spinning it around. All of that, what that's for is so that when you're drawing, you can you are moving your paper so that you can be in line with you can be in line with your paper. You can create lines easier that are curved or whatever, because you'll notice when you draw, if you try to draw a curved line against the way your paper is oriented, it makes it harder to make that curve. Whereas if you have the paper angled and then you're making the curve across, the paper is angled, so the curve always looks better. Now, it might also be, I wonder if you guys are just bored. I say it all the time. Are you bored with Sons of Behemoth? Do you not want to see us paint any more giants? Are you guys just like, are you guys in the vicinity or camp of, man, I'm just bored of this guy. I don't want to, I don't want to paint. I don't want to see him paint this stuff anymore. Like, when is he going to do different AOS stuff? When is he going to do, a different faction? When is he going to do a different, which, by the way, all of those statements are extremely valid, and I take that stuff to heart, definitely. Well, when I say take to heart, I should say I take it seriously. If you guys are saying that you would prefer to see different content, or if you would prefer to see other things, I do take that seriously. If I hear that, or you guys let me know what that content is, like, I am well and very much looking to change it up. The reality of why, and I think I mentioned this in a previous stream, I always say it to you guys, like, I do not get advanced copies or advanced anything from like companies like GW or some of the larger model companies. So everything we do on the channel is all out of pocket. It's all me, buying these models or buying this stuff at full price most of the time. So it is hard. It can be hard at times for me to cover every single new model that's coming out, especially. So I do limit it to obviously factions that I want to play, or obviously factions that we're going to use in different projects. I do try. Sometimes I'll try to go outside if particularly a model is just very cool, or a model is just very, really well done. I obviously will try my best to get that, but like I said, because it is me doing all of this, because it's me doing all this, there's definitely moments where I have to, as much as I don't like it, I have to I do have to pick and choose kind of what I'm going to do and what I'm not going to do. And like I said, not that I enjoy it, but I definitely do have to pick and choose, what models I'm gonna paint, what I'm not. So in light of a few things recently, what that has meant for our channel is that I have had to, a little bit jump into, look at stuff I've had potentially maybe sitting around for a while, or things that I have that are older, that are just, need to be painted and are part of my, have to be part of my painting regiment. So that's why you guys are seeing, like, not the newest cream of the crop, models, but also it's because right now GW, and it's cycles, you know, GW always cycles their models, but right now they're just not coming out with models that are part of factions I play. um, I mean, the reason why I was starting to do the Behemoth army is because they did announce another Mega Gargant. Um, so they did announce a new one, or a new model, which I am, you know, intrigued about maybe checking out. I've said it on the channel before. The only issue that I have with the Mega Gargant is that because of my approach with my army, I already bought another model from another company that is like the Mega Gargant. So it's not that I don't want to cover that model, or I don't want to show you guys that model, but it is definitely true that um, I've done other things, so I'm not really looking to purchase that model, because it would just be a waste, because I already got other models that I was going to use as a second Gargant. So it puts me in a weird spot where I'm like, well, but I did grab other models, so I already really have what I need. So I would be getting that in, you know, as a superfluous model. And you know, the issue there is that, you know, if it was a $40 model, that's one thing, but I can't, you know, with these 100 plus models, I have to really be careful to only really get models that I can use in things we need. So, but the way that we can change, the way that you guys can help me change all that, is if you do monetarily support the channel and you do check out either hiring me for commissions, if you want to see me do a commission paint for maybe your army or for maybe some of your models, which is one way. Oh, I went a little too far. Also, if you sign up for the Patreon, I know the Patreon right now is just my art related Patreon. I will, or I am looking to do a gaming specific Patreon. But I have to get a few more things done for it first before I could officially launch it. I have to get ahead of the content for it. Alright, so, oh Jesus. Come on, come on, come on, come on. There we go. There we go. Alright, perfect. Yeah, so we're getting there. We're definitely getting there. Alright, and this is going to go. So this is going to go all the way down. So that's going to get all that painted too. I do like the way the pants are coming out. I was against the idea of putting the colors in there, but because I'm using a lot of these like muted greens and a few other odds and ends, it's actually looking pretty good. Again, guys, please let me know what you think. I say it all the time, but your commentary, your contribution when we're live, it does make the show just a better show. So if you have anything on your mind, you want to talk about something, you want to add, contribute, Do not feel like you are pressured, nor to feel like you have to, but it's always more fun when you guys are part of it. But I do understand also that a lot of folks, and it's been brought to my attention multiple times, that a lot of you guys are actually painting while you watch me, which I think is hilarious, awesome, and amazing. So that is part of why I don't always get a lot of talkers in my audience, which I love that. I think that's hilarious. Because I 100% do that as well. So. And I don't know if I don't know. I just want to do. I really want to do this so much so. Like you guys don't understand how much I want to do this full time, and be able to produce content on a full time basis, and be able to just bring my love and my passion for this stuff to people. I would love that. That would like be a number one awesome force for me, and I would just love to create a space where everybody could have fun. And do that and feel like they're getting information and help. I would love it. I would so love it. Like it's my number one dream right now to do that for you guys. Yeah, it's crazy. Wouldn't it be funny if Twitch like shut me down? That'd be really funny. Because I always get worried, you know? I always get worried that, like, I don't know. You know, I'm humbled by the fact that we have, like, 200, almost 300 people, like, on the channel. And I know for a lot of people who stream and do content, they may look at that and be like, oh, well, you only have that many people. I think that's pretty cool. Like, I don't actually look at that as a negative. I look at that as a positive because I think that's amazing that many people, you know, want to take that, you know, want to potentially come and see us, and want to be a part of our content, want to be a part of our shows, and you know, so I take that as like a huge compliment and extremely humbling. Because, you know, you guys could choose anybody to look at or watch, and you've chosen me, and that's really cool. And that means that you find value and you like this content in some way, which I think is awesome. So yeah, I look at that as like I look at that as such a humbling number, and I just really appreciate that people out there want to be a part of this content, you know. And even after the fact, like when I look back and I see the video has like all these different views and everybody's come and seen it, I just think that that's so awesome, and I really thank you guys. I by the way, I have not narrated anything that I've been doing. I usually am better at narrating the paints that I'm using and what I'm doing, but I totally did not do that. I just have been like painting without narrating, which is kind of bad. Because if you guys are coming to like learn anything, you're not learning. You might not be learning anything because I'm not like telling you what I'm doing. But obviously, what we're doing now is I'm just trying to get all these patch areas of color done. I'm gonna do all the stitching later. I do like usually I do dry brushing for the stitches. What we're gonna also have to do for a lot of this is there are some areas where you see skin through this, and I might have to rework some of that. But as of right now, so now I've painted myself quite literally into a corner. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, on the other side of the pants. Oh, I guess no, I didn't. I can bring the orange back. For a minute, I didn't think I had a color that I could color that, but no, I can bring the orange back. It's crazy. I'm going to be spending the whole time on this guy. So I think I'm going to just kind of do this. But yeah, so to show you guys what we did. So we really just alternated the colors. Then we have straps inside of that, which we're going to have to do. So more of the skeleton horde. But I do like him with the patchwork. The patchwork actually did come out really nice. Now, some other things I'm going to be doing is putting like dirt and putting blood and like other effects on him. So that's going to be happening too. But so far, and with the green eyes, actually we can do one little fun thing right off the bat. Here, I'll show you, which is going to instantly make him much more terrifying and much better. Because yeah, tonight I can't really go too far off, so we're gonna do a tiny bit on our other giant, and then we're gonna call it. But let's do it here. There we go. So what I did was, now I might have did a little too much, so I'm gonna actually gonna use a technical paint. That's actually a Necron paint. We're going to see how it works. Let's see. That kind of looks cool. Hold on. Let's do a little more. So this is a technical paint. And the way that this paint's supposed to work is that you put it on top of something, and then it gives like a lumens. So the idea was, now he looks like he's very, very angry. And he's got like a white pupil, like his eyes like dyed. That looks so much cooler. And it's got a little bit of a glow now, which is pretty cool. So I really, really like that. Alright. So we're gonna table you for now. We will eventually paint that villager, because that villager needs some paint. Right now he's in a very bad situation because he got that giant coming right at him on full force. So, God bless him. All right, let's get our other giant up to the table. So what we're really left with on him, so it's kind of some similar stuff, but we have the boots and we have the axe, and I did some certain things to the axe. So let's kind of follow suit and get some of that done. But he's actually he's also pretty close to done, because there's not much left to do on him. But the first thing I want to do is get, and I'm going to be a little bit more haphazard with this yellow, because I learned from my last mistake, which was I did the yellow after I did the gold. Never should do that. That's a mistake like 101. It makes more sense to do the yellow first, because then if you're sloppy, the gold will cover up the yellow when you're doing the gold bits. So it is always better. You should do some, what is it? I don't know what he's talking about. Okay, hold on. Oh, necromantic metal. On which thing? Because I don't know. There might have been a delay. You talking about on the axe? Or I don't know what you were talking about. Okay. Well, so here, I'll show you. This is what I'm doing for the axe. So I'm kind of painting the axe like it's a power sword from 40K. I have to go back and do more gold work, but the idea is I want to have it have gold. So I want it to look like an older, like, dwarven forged axe. Because basically I'm trying to make him the fire giants. So he's a fire giant, and he's going to be as if the fire slayers from AOS, like their giant came, or like a god of theirs came. So it's kind of like bringing that idea, but to this model. So I'm sort of painting him in the style of a fire slayer. If that makes sense. In fact, I may not have necromantic. I don't know if I have that color. Now that we're talking about it, I actually don't know if I have that color or not. Because I know it's weird, but I actually use lead belcher on my Necrons, and I do different things to the lead belcher, which probably makes it more like that color. But I actually don't own that color because I'm newer to Necrons. So like I didn't have a Necron army originally. I had a lot of like bits of a Necron army, but I never like committed to them. So I am not 100%. I don't have all of my supplies for them yet. And then when they released the new ones, they kind of went with a different approach for their color scheme, which was the what is it? The Ruin Lord Gold, and they released all these like new colors because the newer Necrons, like a lot of their units, you know, they were going with different looks to. Personally, I think to kind of give renewed interest to the range, because the original Necrons were so based on, you know, Terminator, that I think they wanted to, in the new 40K, a release of them, make them a little bit more removed from the previous Necrons. So I feel like they went for a different paint scheme. But it's good to see you, sir. See, I was gonna say mentioned that the person who just commented, I know that they paint while we're painting. That's why they're super quiet. But I do appreciate the idea, and I might rework the axe. I don't know. I'm still not 100% in with the axe. I'm probably gonna change it, but I'm just kind of I guess I'm trying to get paint down. There's another reason why I'm doing this, because the model, not that it didn't prime itself properly, but the primer didn't take to it because it's resin, and I don't know how the person made this, but I watched it. I did all the things you're supposed to do with resin models when you get them, but I feel like there were some challenges with that. If that makes any sense. Because I find, especially when you do like you're going and getting Etsy models, there is like you know, there is a quality conversation there. So sometimes different places will use different quality resin. Yeah, that was what I was gonna. Yeah, no, I'm not dispersed. I should preface what I was saying. I'm not casting a dispersion on resin. I actually think that resin models are nicer. But yeah, it's just you when you're working on, when you're working specifically on Etsy and you're looking at people who are doing Etsy stuff, there is, like, going back to what he just said. There's a lot of levels of experience. So some people are just not as experienced with working with resin. So they might not cure it right, or there are, like anything else in life, there are different grades of resin. So it could be one of those situations where the person just didn't, they tried to use a lower grade or a lower quality, and that is part of why all I'm doing with this, I'm just trying to get some Griffin Charger Gray on here. The Griffin Charger Gray is just going to act as a base, and then I'm going to pull out aspects of the armor that I want to do, similar to what was just suggested, to put some, I might put some metal areas, I might put some other stuff, but I just want to get something on it so that there is a base coat of paint which other paint can adhere to, since it didn't completely get done correctly. But yeah, I did all the stuff I was supposed to do, because for folks out there that might not be familiar, maybe you're newer to the hobby, like when you do get resin models, it was just mentioned about curing it. So obviously when it's done, you have to cure. So with resin, you have to actually cure it so that it dries and it hardens properly. But then also what you should do is, since resin models are cured, you really should wash them when you get them. So you're really supposed to put them in, like, soapy water, so that any residue from the curing is off of them. So I did that as well. Now, are these straps, or, because they look like straps? Okay, they are straps. So I'm only going to do this part. All right, sorry guys, I'm trying to. This is where I have to play a little detective, because I have to sort of see what I'm looking at and what I think we meant here. Because again, I just want to get it. Well, I just want to get it with the gray, and then I'm going to start to but yeah, from like a model standpoint, resin is awesome, because resin will do, resin is great for figures. It does so much more detail. Because when people so if you don't use resin and you use, like, filament for figures, it always looks bad, because then you have all these little, like, you have all these little levels and little texture into it, and then unless you sand it down a little, it might not look great. But you can't really do that with a model, because you're going to lose some of the fine detail. When you get time, look up non-metallic painting style on YouTube. You'll see what. Oh, yeah, no, I know what you're talking about. I know exactly what you're talking about. Basically, what that painting style is it's the essential. What's a way to describe it? It's a way which is, it's like doing cell shading but for metal. So it's like, if you've ever seen the style of cell shading, that's what it is. It's like doing that, because what you're painting basically the reflective surfaces of metal. So you're using flat paint and you're making it appear like it's metallic because it's reflecting light. And it's a very popular like new technique that a lot of people are using. A lot of people use it because part of why a lot of people like it is that when you use metallic paints, if you're using standard metallic paints that a lot of paint companies are using, you're gonna get you'll always get a very similar color palette and outlook. If you do that technique, you can customize the paint so you can get a much more interesting feel, and you can customize it more dynamically for the scene. But that's essentially what it is. So yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. I know exactly what that is. And I've actually watched tutorials on how to do that. So I might do that. I'm not happy with the axe entirely, so I probably will do it. But that's for a layman like looking in on what it is. That is essentially what it is. It's like using that cell shading technique to paint your metals. And to be clear and to be fair, it looks really cool. It is a really cool painting technique. And going back to what I said previously, even for that technique, I don't know if I have everything I would need to delve into that technique properly. I think there's some stuff I would need that I don't have, because I believe a lot of people that use that technique are using they're using other model paint company paints, or they're using different paints than like GW paints. Not to say you can't do it with GW paints, but they are using slightly different materials, because a lot of folks that are doing a lot more contemporary painting, that are of course also not painting just GW related stuff, have graduated or moved into other painting company paints. So that's another piece to it too. Because everybody kind of picks a different way of going. And while we're on that subject, always remember that, and I say this all the time to everybody, especially when they're starting out, there are 1,001 ways to do everything. And everyone who you talk to will give you usually different takes or different ways of doing something, or different suggestions. I would hope that people try to keep. I'm sorry that you guys can't see what I'm doing. I just don't know any other way to turn this to do this. I would hope most people you talk to in the hobby will suggest rather than demand, because I always say that like if you're trying to do something and all you're getting for help is more of like a demanding person that's saying do this or nothing, that's not a teacher. Don't seek others to help you at that point. But if you're getting someone like Shade to Rest, who's like, you should really check this out, or like check out this painting technique, or check out this idea, those are the types of people you definitely want when you're first starting out, because like I said, because everyone will tell you a million different things, and everybody likes to everybody also loves to tell you their, you know, the way they learned, and they will always make it sound like the way they learned is like the right way to do it, and that's not true. It's just the way that you know how to do it. It's, you know, this is a creative hobby, you know. Oh, I gotta wait. I'm like doing stuff that I can't do until it's dry. It's a creative hobby. Like, again, there are many, 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 many ways that you could all do something. All right, I was going to do something completely different, and then I went and grabbed this. Yeah, it's there's many ways you're gonna do something. Don't think for a minute that there's only one way. But yeah, like I said, always look for people that are like, you know, open and talking to you like there are options. Always better people. But yeah, I love like what Shade just did. Hey man, you should check this out. I think this technique will be really cool. That's awesome. And for the record, I will, because I'll look at a couple more videos to refresh my memory on how to do that, because I'm not 100% convinced I like how the axe is coming out. So I'm probably gonna change the axe. I'm liking the rest of them. The axe, I tried an idea and it was interesting, but it's not sitting the way I want it to, so. And I think I love this part that I'm doing now. So you guys probably remember when I first painted this, I'm like, oh, this is a glove. He's got no fingers. And it was that little detail under there where I saw that there was finger cuts in the glove that made me go back and redo all of this. Because he does, in fact, have finger cuts in the glove. Now, as much as I really, really do love this model, I do think that the Etsy shop I got this from, there are some annoyances in how they sculpted this, because it definitely did not make all of what I'm doing now clear. There's definitely areas that I feel weren't mapped out the best. Which for me, what that is essentially creating is now I have just I have uneven areas, so I'm gonna have to go back and do a lot of touching up, just because, like I said, it wasn't 100% clear what we were doing in some of these areas. So everything else looks good now. Like, I like the veins and I like the muscles, and I like that I did this sort of fiery take. I like that I took this printing error that happened and turned it into a molten arm, like molten lava is coursing through it, like he got a wound or an injury. And he's got like power coming through it, which I thought was pretty cool. And so now it looks like there's actually like rivets of lava in there. So I tried to redo a lot of this to make it a better model. But some of it worked, some of it didn't work. Oh, let me make sure I close this before I forget. Yeah, this is one of those models, I say it a lot, but it's like one of these models that the detail inside is a lot. They crammed a lot of detail into a small scope. So what that in turn means is that you have a lot of situations where you have to really um, go to town and get a lot of your detail done. But now I'm just going back, and what I'm trying to do now is just really just tidy up some loose ends, get some things on here up to snuff that I definitely didn't do correctly the first time. So I'm getting all that stitching done. I'm getting all these like little areas done. So we have a very, very nice looking giant. And we can start moving on to some of the final stuff, like reworking the axe and doing some of those things. And again, I want to thank Shade to Rest, because I will retake a look and check it all out, because I think he's right. I think the axe is lacking right now, and I want to make it better. And that's another piece to this too, is that when you're, that if I give advice to new painters or new people to the hobby, like, don't be afraid to be humble either. You know, like I said, because this again is a hobby and everyone's expressing themselves differently, don't be afraid to be humble and be like, oh, I don't know how to do that, or like, oh, I never thought of that, or like whatever. Like, I think a lot of times when people start in this hobby, and I've seen it 1,000 times, people will always, and it's very unfortunate when I see it, but people will like they'll get like super obsessed with like the painting samples, or they get really obsessed with like other stuff. And it's like, I think I mentioned this one other time we were on, and people will get like super obsessed with the painting samples. They'll get super obsessed with just like, oh, it's gotta look like the codex, or it's gotta look like the it's gotta look exactly like this. And it's like, bro, it doesn't have to exactly look like anything. Like, oh, all right, I'm probably gonna have to go back. I'll have to go back and just rework that. But yeah, it doesn't need to exactly look like anything. Like, you're new to this whole thing, so like, take the time to be new. And like, sure, you want it, if you want that aesthetic, like if you want the aesthetic of whatever the GW painting sample of your army is, or your faction, or whatever you're painting, power to you and go for it. But don't get mad if like this is day one of your painting and like things don't look exactly like the painting example. Like, most of the time they're not going to look like the painting sample, especially on day one. And I said it in a previous video, but like, when you look at those painting gallery shots in the codexes, or you're looking at some of that artwork, again, I always like to preface, I am not taking anything away from the artists that were involved, but the reality is those artists had a lot more tools. They had access to a lot more stuff. You have no indication when you look at those pictures as to hours that were painted, hours put into the models. Like, you have none of that as a frame of reference. So before you decide to kick your own butt and be very hard on yourself, remember all of that. I couldn't tell you how many times I could not tell you how many times people will come up to me and they will tell me all about how sorry guys, I'm not doing anything really important. I'm just painting the back end of the rawhide, the animal skin that he has on most of his body, because apparently some of it is showing underneath his legs. So I wanted to get that done. I'm gonna have to paint that red under there as well. So I'm just gonna take care of those real quick. Probably we're gonna end very soon because, like I said, I have an early morning ahead of me, so I'm gonna have to. We're actually already past the mark of where I wanted to be, so we'll do the red really quick, and then we're gonna probably call it. But we worked more on our behemoth army. Nope. I don't know if Shade to Rest is still watching. He probably is. He's a silent but deadly guy. Which I very... Yep, I'm here. I love it. I love it. Yeah, he's a silent but deadly guy. He's got a lot of painting. Got a lot of painting projects to take care of. Whoa. All right. I'm going sloppy inside of here. Trying to think of different ways to say what I'm about to say, because I am very much in between this fine fire gentleman's legs, and I don't want to make some. Oh, my camera decided to be a little wonky and do something weird. All right. So we're definitely going to do. In general, I'm going to be doing some reworks to some of the armor pieces, because I do want the armor pieces to look different. I do like how he's looking. He is looking pretty nice and pretty sweet. Even though we're talking about maybe taking some different directions on certain things, but I think, like, overall, he looks really good. And that is another thing that I talk to folks about. Are we in glove territory, or no, that's skin. Sorry, I'm just trying to get in here. Okay. That was bothering me. I knew I had to fix that because I knew it had to be. All right, so there we go. So I had to get that band on the arm done. Yeah, there's a lot of just little touch-ups that have to happen. Like, I'm not happy overall with certain areas. I'm gonna have to do some touch-ups here and there. But I have to figure out some decisions on, like, armor. I gray toned a lot of the armor because I wanted to get some of this gold in there. Again, the whole concept and idea of this guy is the fact that I wanted him, like I said, to look like he was a giant, a dwarven giant, which I know seems like a crazy idea, but I just want to see what that looks like up against that. Nah, I don't like that color. get it off. I don't like the Gilliman on that. I think using the snake bite is probably better. Or I could use a gray. Because they do look more metal straps. Sorry guys. So what I'm trying to figure out is what I want to do with that strap right here. And like what color that should be. I'm trying to like kind of reason it out. Because he has it on there. He has it on the back of the boots. And I feel like it should be a different color. I don't know. So I'm like... But I don't know if it looks more... Yeah, I guess they look more like straps. The other things look more like metal. So I think it probably makes sense to do them as snake bite. Do them as like heavy leather. And then if those ends were some form of metal, that I think would look good. I love this snake bite because it covers up like everything. But yeah, I think that's the right call because then it looks pretty cool and it looks interesting. Yeah, I think that's the right call for those. So all of those straps I'm going to do in the snake bite. Because it just looks good, it looks right. And then these will be metal fasteners, so I'll do those as like lead or metallic paint on those. But I may not do that because if I'm going to try that other method, I might hold off on doing that. So, but the snake bite is definitely the right call for these areas. So let me just get the rest of this done. Just so I know, because part of it is I also want to know that they're snake bite, because if I don't know that they're snake bite, I'm going to be in trouble. Let me try to be closer. So, Shade to Rest, what did you think of the wide angle camera while I have you still on here? Was that camera angle okay, the last one, or did it seem too distracting? I trust Shade to Rest. I know he'll tell me. I know he'll tell me the truth. He's a good guy for that. I know. That's part of why I don't like that camera angle. Yes, that is the next phase. Since tomorrow we normally do our drawing show, my goal for tomorrow is to clean my table. Long story short, I got the new iPhone, and the cameras are slightly different from the cameras that I had on my previous phone. And I've noticed that the app I use for filming Yeah, the only problem with this one is if I go up close like this, it blurs out the mini. It doesn't autofocus. So I've been using this, and if you feel like this is pretty good, like this angle we have right now, then I could still use it. But it has like its own little trouble with other stuff. So they both kind of have their own problems in different ways. But if you feel that both angles work well, then I'll probably stick with the angle I have now. I wanted to do an experiment with this show, just to see if people like the other angle or if I got other commentary about it. So there you go. So either way, the wide angle or this more controlled angle seems to work okay. But like I said, then I can't go really close. That's all. So I have to get used to holding it in a certain spot because it's really weird. It's a nicer quality shot, but it's like a fixed angled camera, which is so annoying. I don't know why they gave you an extra lens, but they didn't make both lenses autofocus, which is really weird. All right, I don't. Okay. Yeah. So then I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna alter this one too. I'm gonna redo this as snake bite, just to be consistent. And by the way, if nothing I said just now was coherent, let me know. That's pretty funny. Alright, so Shade Duress thinks that this angle shows the mini better, but the other angle, he's offended by my messy table. That's awesome. I love my audience. You guys are awesome. I know. I'm a messy artist. I'm a messy craft artist. Crafts and arts, I'm messy. I always, my work area, I would love for it to be super clean, but like I find that I'll do a project, I won't have time to clean it, and I'll just like have stuff all over the place. So like it's funny that you say that, but that is like super characteristic of my like work area. It's just like that. I still get work done, and I still get good work done. It's just, you know, I'm definitely not the guy who has like, you know, I think of a lot of, you know, shows of like characters that have like every tool, you know, these like pristine tables where every tool has like a spot and it's like set up and all that. I am definitely not that guy. 100% not that guy. Like, I hide a lot. I usually, because I tighten the angle a lot, I do hide the mess, or I try to shield you guys from the mess. But it's pretty bad. But I love that. I love that you were like, oh, well, the angle's good, but your table is atrocious, bro. I think that's hilarious. I think you just made my day. It made me laugh. And I when I say these funny things to you or I comment, I do not comment with any, like, I do not think you meant it in a bad way. I know you put lots of laughs on there, so I know you were kidding. We're not kidding. But you know what I mean. All right, we're going to put all the Necron colors over here because I keep just putting them in my way. Because now I'm like self-conscious. I'm like, oh my god, I got to clean. No, I'm kidding. Awesome. So I'm going to pull up our giants. So we can see what we worked on tonight. So I'm happy with where we got to. I mean, obviously lots of clothes painting on this guy. So we kind of factored and figured out how we wanted to do all the patchwork. We did some touch-ups. I love now that we have that luminant eye. So using the Necron luminance new color. Now he's got like a glowing eye that looks like it's been like bleached out because it's just like broken or it had a problem. Our fire giant is looking really awesome. I like how the details are coming along. Definitely want to work on some of the armor pieces and some of the other stuff a little bit more. But really liking how these two are coming out. For the Sons of Behemoth army, so I'm happy. You know, definitely, again, definitely giants from different walks of life, which is what I really was going after with the models. We're going to do our drawing show tomorrow, so we're going to have our indie comic stuff. Please come and join us. It's pretty awesome. This is going to be the first time I can really start to show you guys some of my original stories and characters, and what my Patreon, which if you take a look and have some time with, is all about, is those original comics and characters. And then we're going to, of course, jump back to 40K on Thursday. And 40K on Thursday is going to be amazing because we're going to do more Necrons. So we're going to finish up the... we're going to... Oh, let me move this out of the way. We're going to finish up our Necron Warrior. Or not Necron Warrior. But we're going to finish this guy up, which is already coming out pretty cool. Again, something I definitely want to do a little bit more work on. But I like the style of this and how it's coming out. It's coming good. And then I actually have the Necron King, that huge model, which we're going to start as well. So we're going to finish this up and then start that bigger project. So that's going to be Thursday. We're going to do some more 40K stuff. So I am super excited. I hope you guys are as well. Please come back and join us for those shows, so you can be a part of our awesome family. And if you like what you saw, consider following the channel, consider signing up for notifications, and consider jumping on my website, my Patreon, and the tip/donation button as some monetary ways to support the channel. Thank you all for watching as always, and I'll see you guys at the next video. And Shade to Rest, thanks for joining us and being with us tonight. And please tell more of your friends about us. If you're watching this after the fact, share with others this great content. And I hope you guys are continuing to find this entertaining, fun, and educational, as always. And I love that we can come together and just share our love for hobbying and painting. Take care, everybody. I'll see you at the next video.